Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Nsaka on Ubuntu channel. My names are Himba Malambo, and I'm your host today with my co-hosts, Jibonta Jule, who has just joined me. Jibonta, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Himba. Good evening, viewers. Himba, how's been the day?
Not bad. Happy New Year. Tunaona napo New Year.
Happy New Year. Tunaona napo.
Please greet the viewers before we go
Viewers,
any
thank you
further.
for joining us tonight. It's a pleasure being on the program once again. In the house, we have Evangelist Herbert Shaabula. Evangelist, good evening and welcome to Ubuntu.
Good evening. Thank you so much. And I'm ready to roll the ball. And I just want to welcome those who are joining for the first time and the old ones that have been with us for a long time. I just want to ask them to continue because the program that we have is actually a series and we shall cover so many topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Evangelist, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mwebantu kutoka mletu mfwila twa misengela twa mipokelela to mitambula muhinala Jesu. You're welcome to the program. Just remind viewers wherever you're watching us from that you're welcome to Ubuntu Nsaka. This is the program where we talk about issues that affect our daily lives, our social lives, our psychological being, our spiritual needs. This is the time when we discuss all that really affect our well-being. Having said that, our topic of discussion this evening is courtship. Katwishing abantu. Are there people who still courting nowadays? Abantu amakukotinga fikaliko for courting.
Just because mnakwatiriwa nshi macourtship yanasira.
But it's now we are cohabiting. Now my partner moved in. No, I'm a side chick. I'm a side chick. I'm a courting.
Yonkanio. Anyway, Evangelist is here to give us guidance and educate us, and we'll jump in later. So, Evangelist, over to you. Himbafi, ndiye chani, ero ikaliko. Evangelist.
Evangelist, Nia 1-1. Yes, Nia 1-1. Nia 1-1.
So, Evangelist, over to you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as a program for today, we are looking at courtship. But before we look at courtship, I just want to remind those who were here last week and also those who missed that we were looking at dating. We are looking at dating, and what we said briefly is that, dating is a stage of romance or romantic relationship in which two individuals engage in an activity together, most often with the intention of evaluating each other's suitability as a partner in future intimate relationship. Meaning that romance, we are talking about evaluating each other as whether this person is suitable or not, so that he can be a husband or a wife in the future. So that is actually what we had. I said is dating, and this dating, it does not take months. It can take 2 days. It can take a week, depending on your time and also where you stay. So today or tonight, we are looking at the courtship. Now, I want to make it very, very clear. I think Himba, outside, this program, she mentioned something that is very, very important. She was joking, and yet to me, it was a serious matter. She asked to say, courtship, are there people that are still courting nowadays? The answer is yes, they are there, and also no, they are not there. But however, whether they are there or they are not there, I would like us to understand what courtship is, so that we can help our brothers and sisters who will be courting in the future. Now, courtship is a period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship before getting married. Now, this is a period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship before getting married. In other words, these people, they get together, and the whole aim is that they should be able to get married. Courtship is also a process. Now, this process, somebody will try to woo another person by letting them see who you are truly, who you truly are, as they should also be able to know you. Now, in other words, I want to simplify it. Courtship is a period in which uyamba kupima mwenzako, wamwika paskero yako, umuona kodi uyu muntu tingankale naye, kodi uyu muntu tingasungane, kodi uyu muntu angalibalire bana batingankale bwanji nawo, obanje ngankale bwanji. Kodi uyu muntu alina mamudi za bwanji, alina makalidwe ya bwanji, personality, character, ili bwanji. So this is the period in which you visit each other. You go to her home, you go to his home. You see the arrangement, how property is arranged, how items are arranged, how things are organized or disorganized, for you to be able to make an informed decision whether to go ahead and marry her or marry him, or not to go ahead marrying her or marrying him. So this is a period, bantu wa Mulungu, yopimana, kupima, ya serious. This period is quite a serious period. Now, Himba and CJ and the rest of us that are listening and watching, I must put it this way. A lot of us miss opportunity to be able to understand, to be able to evaluate our partner, our future wife, our future husband. We always miss this opportunity. In most cases, we don't know what to discuss during courtship. We don't know what to do during courtship. You find that sometimes this gentleman is a football fan, and when he is with his girlfriend, he will sit with the girlfriend and start talking about football. Yes, you can talk about football, but don't spend too much time on football, because there are other things that are important, which you yourself should be able to know. Here you are evaluating the suitability of that person, whether he or she can be a wife. There are many things that you'll be looking at. This is the time to talk about his education, her education. This is the time when you disclose your sickness. You know, in HIV, in nikugwa, nikunyuka, in nistabwanji, I've got a child outside marriage. Mwana huyu alina wachache wake or alikuwa whatever. Kwa mimi niseleza kuliso ninatenga nkongole ya nyumba or ya plot, so that your friend should know that outside this you've got some responsibilities and the monies that you have to pay back to the bank or natenga loan. Or else, if this is not disclosed during courtship, you are going to marry a person and take her into your home, and the following day after the wedding, only to see benefits coming to come and pick your goods at home. And because this of yours will be surprised, and because hello,
me today,
because this person didn't expect it, whatever you're talking about. So it is important to open up to each other so that things are known. Now,
Evangelist, me today, Evangelist.
Courtship can, hello?
Today, as you go on, please allow us to chip in this topic. We want our sisters and brothers out there. Kuti vamvesese vinangu mukasireka nezinamvera somebody nzokambati so probably as you go on there mutivomerese tizipang'ono zambo chipping in. There's somebody who was giving a sound. Was that a question or a reaction? Okay, I think it wasn't a reaction. So papa mene pe mukamba Evangelist mukamba kuti you can only court if there's an intimate relationship.
Yeah, yes. Now, what it is, let me say yes. The issue here is that, when you court, a court is an indication to the other person that you have intentions to get married or to marry that person. Now, because you have come from dating, you have moved to another level. Level you have to make it to decide. This is a deciding level for you to decide whether to marry or not to marry, whether to walk with her or to walk away from her, or to walk away from him, or to walk with him into marriage. Level ya courtship. Manje, I want to put it this way, because here we should look at it from both sides. If Africans process illegal, but there are so many people that are involved. It is not only you, the person that is involved, but it is also your brothers, your sisters, your relatives, your father, your mother, your churchmates, your friends. All these, they will help you check or evaluate the suitability of your partner in our context. If you mufirika bachi bulungu bonse bazamba kuona kuti koti mwamuna alibwanji, koti mkazi alibwanji, mankalido yake alibwanji, koti alina ulemu, koti ni wanchito, koti ni waklini, ni wapunzira bwanji, banzaka balibwanji, mavalido yake alibwanji, mayankido yake alibwanji, panyumba pajiwanka alibwanji. So the whole issue is that, here they want to see how suitable you are. Why? Because for African context, from Africans, a wife, a lady, is a wife to everyone in the family. That is why when the husband dies, this lady will be inherited by one of the family members. So that is why everyone is concerned. Manje kuchizungu, kwame mulili Himba kubuzungu, kumayingira antikwanu. Here, the situation mostly is between the two people. It is you, the gentleman, or you, the lady, who is going to evaluate this gentleman or this lady. You are going to put her on your scale or on a scale to find out whether this person can be a husband or a wife. That is courtship. Now, I want to put it this way. Courtship also depends on the courtship period. I'm talking about the period now. The courtship period should not be too long. You remember what I said last time? It is better that the marriage is consummated within 2 to 3 years. That is from dating, courtship, the courtship period, engagement, then the marriage. Let it be between 2 to 3 years. It can only be longer. It can only be longer that munkala mu areas yosiyana. For example, you have got your gentleman omerafuna kukwatira ali mu Zambia, you are in UK. So here the period will not be short, because you'll be traveling in order to meet this person and begin to understand this person. So your period will not be short, it will be long. So even your, for example, like the other one stays in Nsaka, then maybe the gentleman are in Kundola, the lady in Nsaka, the gentleman in Dola. All these are distances that will cause you not to be seeing each other and be able to evaluate each other. So you will need ample time or enough time for you to be able to have proper understanding of the behavior, the personality, the character of the person that you want to tie your life to. So that is, in most cases, that is what happens. Now,
just hold your thought. What about ababeti ona manje bakuti banamuvalika ring at engagement? Kange nowadays engagement ni ababiri batengana uko babiri, okay, I don't know, whatever. Engagement bachiti. Muntu azavala engagement ring for 5 years. Alishamu engaged. Chikutantauza chani evangelist. Elo no imba maningi mukwaya na engagement ring yamba no fedinga. Ati ni na engagement.
Vamos studying.
Now,
studying for 5 years.
That question, Himba, is what we're going to handle next week when we'll be talking about engagement.
Yes.
Yes, because now I'm going to jump the gun. If I answer it, it means that I'm going to bring in 2 topics at the same time. Is it okay that we can handle it next week, Thursday?
Yes, Evangelist, I think it's okay. But
okay.
Whilst we are on that same one, allow me to chip in.
Yes.
Are you able, if you can explain mwene venzediri kudala ma courtship ya kudala ka procedure mwene kenzediri lo ka process, so that we can contrast it with venevishti kamanje?
Okay, what it is here, that question that you've asked me, yachizungu sinachinja, it has been there all along, it's the same. Manje yachifirika, it is that's when I come back to yachifirika, courtship yachifirika, siri munga yachizungu. And I've explained that yachifirika yatu, ife mwete na pitira, mweme na pitira mwene, osati yo ya phone. You find a lady. If you find a lady, most of the things, they happen together, almost at the same time. So it's sometimes, even finding a lady, you find that there are other people that will tell you to say, it means that you have not seen that lady yourself. It is other people that have seen her. Meaning that already, it's like they've courted her. She has been courted and they've seen her that this one can be a potential wife or a prospective wife. So meaning that certain parts of the courtship has already been covered in the dating. In most cases, they will start with courtship. Then after they found that this lady, she is a person that is marriageable, they are going to sit down and talk about her. They will look at what I've said here. First of all, they will look at her mannerism, her personality. They will talk about the family she comes from. They will talk about how industrious she is at home or at work. Then they will talk about maybe her church, her connections, our concerns or commitments. Then they will also talk about how friendly she is, how kind she is. Then they will talk about the family, how united the family is. So then, after they've looked at all these issues and they've seen that she's educated, then they will tell you to say, this lady, there's a lady here who wants you to marry, or we want this gentleman to marry. Now, meaning that the courtship party, dating now, after that, then they will say, come and see her. Even when you go there to see her, the groundwork is already done. So there it is just a confirmation that she's there, this is how she looks like, this is how he looks like, and then from there, they will say, no, find time to talk to her, to approach her. So that is the time now you begin now dating. So you make your dating, you date her, you tell her, no, I'm here, I'm Herbert Shaabula, and from Nsaka. I would like to find time and so that we can discuss about this and that. So then you choose a place. You go to a good place where you're going to be, and then from there, if she agrees, you arrange to meet. And when you meet, the issue that you are going to talk is that you want her, you love her, and you would want to settle down with her. Because you have already you've got background information about the lady. She may ask you, but you come from Nsaka. Why have you jumped on me? Manja pame chizungu pame chitava chachoka chizungu. Uyamba ne undijateka yi ndi muntanga and you know. So the issue here is that according to that question which you asked, CJ, is it CJ or what or Emmanuel? So the issue here is that you find that sometimes in the olden days they would start with the courtship, and then what would follow is the dating. From dating, in most cases, if it's the members, they will do kovekera, which is the engagement now. Now, for us in the Southern Province, we may not go that way. We may just inform the people to say, we want to, I'm interested in this. They will tell you, come home and meet the family. So then the discussion starts. So briefly, that is what I can say on that one.
All right. Thank you so much, Evangelist. Thank you so much.
Now,
Evangelist,
just there.
Okay.
Just there. Hello?
Yes.
There's one
yes, I
part
can
that I want to mention.
Please do. Please
Hello?
do.
There's one part that I want to mention which is very, very important. During courtship, Himba, CJ, and everyone else, there is one thing that we don't do, which comes to show when we get married. And that's why a lot of marriages don't stay, because of one component which is important, which we do not actually look into. We just look at how beautiful they are, how organized they are, and that's all. But there are important things that I must mention.
That statement, Evangelist, that statement did not finish. Please finish
Hello?
it. The statement, I think it didn't end well for me. They just look at how beautiful they are, how organized they are. What about how handsome they are, how drink they are?
We just look at how beautiful my mother Himba is and my family else.
You know what I'm saying here, when I say how beautiful she is, it is also vice versa the other side.
Okay, start saying how he, so that you can
okay, how handsome he is, how organized he is, he's a heart. Is he a kind man? Is he a hardworking gentleman? Has he got ikatala, ibutala, a ban, maize ban? where he keeps his maize, and when he gets married, he can feed the family? Has he got a field? Has he got an axe? Has he got cows? Has he got in Kolobeki? These are some of the tools in farming that one should have. So all these things are things that will give you marks when you want to get married. Then they will say, oh, where musamka mwini mwini, mulomba na mwini mwini, ulijisehi, wakakwataka indulia. So the whole issue is that, this is the support that you get from other people. Now, let me get back in, Himba, if you allow me. I want to talk about the temperaments. Temperaments are very, very important during courtship. You need to know the temperament of your boyfriend. You need to know the temperament of your girlfriend. All these things that I've said, she must have this, she must have this. Yes, let her have this. But the temperament is the crowning part of that individual, because it deals with the character and personality. When you marry that lady, when you marry that gentleman, you will go into the marriage with his character, with his temperament, with his personality. This is what will go with. And therefore, I want to say that, quickly I'll say that there are 4 temperaments. Temperaments, chirimonga, mankalidu ya muntu, how they behave, what they do, what they behave, how they react, how they handle issues, how they live with people. That is called temperament. Now, there are 4 parts, there are 4 groups of people that we have. We've got what is called the sanguine. The sanguine. Number 2, we've got the choleric. Number 3, we've got the melancholy. Number 4, we've got the phlegmatic. Now, I will explain briefly. The temperament, for example, a sanguine boyfriend or girlfriend, you find that the sanguine temperament appears to enjoy. They like, talking too much. Bakamba maningi, they are very social, and they always laugh. They are always in a good mood. She is a sanguine, he is a sanguine. If it is a couple, a sanguine partner fosters optimistic, affordable, and continue a happy relationship.
Evangelist, sunga machepalini hapa.
Hello?
Evangelist, I feel like you are attacking me now.
Oh, so masangu is bakwenda kuseka seka munga bamena kamba nawo. Ibo seka seka, sibaka lipa, they easy make friends, and this is what they do. But the other thing that we should do, what we should know, my problems, they are defects, is that in most cases, they are absent-minded. They forget friends. They can even forget their commitments. So they can even be distracted. Instead, I concentrate pa nyumba pake, aenda kwenda kuona maona kuvichwa neighbor kuja. Hapo sana spread na bedi, sana suke na mbale, sana mchange na mnyumba. This is her character. She's a sanguine. So this we must know. So this person should be learned to develop good habits in terms of loving gestures. She should be able to improve. So this is a sanguine. If you've got a sanguine partner, you must know how to handle that one. But that does not mean that you cannot marry her. It means that you have to know how to handle that person. Then if it is choleric, the choleric people, the temperament yao, they have enormous willpower. They've got security. They want to lead and they want to achieve. They've got leadership in themselves and they want to direct what to do. Ngati ni mkazi, you are a slow husband, she want to take over mnyumba. She will be making decisions Even before you find that she has already made her decisions. In most cases, these are achievers. When they set goals and they work towards the goals and they achieve their goals. The only problem is that, they want to do things, they don't want to be controlled. When they do things, they must succeed. They don't like, in most cases, when they offend, they don't even ask for forgiveness. They will just go ahead and get a guchita, apita udara. So if it is a husband or a wife, you must know how to handle her. Then there's the melancholy. If your wife is a melancholy or your husband is a melancholy, then these are very sensitive. Group you say very sensitive. Balila, they want to blame things on others. They always want to they want people to sympathize with them. Just because in Himba drama, I come from a poor family. That's why that's so. So these they look for sympathy, and in most cases, they are very critical. They are very pessimistic with the partner. They trust in loved ones is very that's why they put their trust in, because they think they cannot do it. They have no self-confidence. They always think somebody can do it for them. So when you have got such a wife or such a husband, you must know how to handle her. And finally, the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic, this is one temperament which is very, very good. They are capable of keeping calm, but quiet. Even in the most adverse situations, they will be quiet. These people, they contribute to maintain balance. They are peaceable within their partnership. They are kind, they pacify, and they are diplomatic. They don't want to offend you. They also possess a very important quality for life within a couple. They know how to listen. As a result, they tend to be good counselors. They are slow, and the apparent lack of enthusiasm may take others to shun them. Sometimes, they do things very, very slow. But because of slowness, sometimes they find themselves in problems because they don't move fast. But whatever they do it perfectly well. Now, there are certain times when we borrow certain temperaments from other groups. You can be a sanguine, but you also have some temperaments from the phlegmatics, and a bit from the melancholy, and a bit from the choleric. So this combination makes you a better person. So all these are very, very important. If you know how your wife behaves, you know their temperament, you know how your husband is, you know his temperament, you will know how to handle him. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end here and invite questions and contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Viewers, we have shared the link, so please click on the link and join the discussion that we are having tonight. We are looking at the marriage formula, and this is episode 2, where we are looking at courtship. So feel free to click on the link, join in. Let us welcome Caroline. Caroline, welcome to Ubuntu channel. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? Good evening.
Fine,
everyone.
thank you. Yes, please. You have the floor, Caroline. What are your submissions? What is your question, contribution, or observation?
Well, I came in late. I've listened part of it, eventually explaining, and I'm yet to do more. I think I'm not going to contribute anything at the moment. I want to listen.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Caroline. Yes, we can get you. Okay, thanks. So,
So it's a very
Evangelist,
interesting.
CJ, I have a question.
okay, go ahead, Lance.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Evangelist, good evening. And
Good evening, Lancy. You are welcome.
Thank you so much. Today's topic is of my interest because I think I had shared somewhere to say this is my topic of interest because this is a stage where I'm on to, where I'm trying to look at what time or when am I going to marry. Or maybe let me just say, basically or specifically, I'm in this stage of the marriage step. But maybe before I come and talk about my own view, let's get to look at the general viewership and everybody maybe who is watching us out there. Last week we were talking about the first step of marriage because our main topic is the marriage formula. So last week we talked about the first step, which is dating, and today we are talking about courtship, which is the second step in the marriage formula. Now, kindly explain to our viewers and listeners what is the difference between dating and courting or courtship, and then where does one get to identify uh, where between the two does one get to identify when they are ready for marriage?
You said what is the difference between dating and courting?
Yes, that is the first. Yes, that's the first question. What is the difference between dating and courting, which is put in brackets as courtship, and then when between these two steps, dating and courtship, when can one realize if they are going to get married or they are going to marry between these two steps as we are heading into marriage?
Let me put it this way. Dating ni ntao ija yakuti mwamuna aona mkazi wamene afuna is attracted. Pamene muona msikana wamene afuna, then now he wants to go deeper into the discussion, but he has nowhere where he can chat and where he can bring out that issue. So he will ask the lady to go out, because he can't go pa nyumba pa watati wake mkazi or pa mpali mai wake. So they will go out. They can go out maybe kumunda wanga, maybe they can go to the Hungry Lion or whatever place of their interest, and sit there and talk. That process ijamele achitika paja, he is actually dating. Dating yayamba paja. In other words, when he goes there, uja musikana uja will start evaluating these, both of them. They will start evaluating each other to see if you are the suitable partner for a future relationship as a husband and wife. That is dating, and it is just for a short period. It doesn't last long. Now, courtship is a period in which a couple, they develop romantic relationship before getting married. Ankala na chikondi chofuna kunkala na uja mkazi, kunkala naye under one roof with that lady. Now, during the courtship, this is a time when you want to woo. In other words, in the politics, campaign, you are going to campaign and show the reason why this lady should get married to you. You want to prove to her that you are the only guy who has the ability, and the talent and everything that should make her be your husband. And then from there, naye mukazi akayangana so, because this now, you've passed the stage you're dating. Naye mukazi now she has got also the right kukuyanganisisa maningi. What I mean kukuyanganisisa, looking at your character, your personality, your temperaments. Vose vazavyangana. Kodi uyu Shaabula mutima wake uli bwanji. Kodi afulumiza ukalipa. Kodi pamene tikamba aniyanka bwanji. Is he a rude person? Does he put me down? Mankalido yatu. What about when we differ? How does he handle this matter? Kodi kupita 2 weeks, he can't call me, or sitikabisana naye. Vice versa, naye mwamuna is doing the same. Kodi uyankala bwanji na family yake, na family na wanzake. Her dressing, her mannerism, vose vicha. This is a detailed, a program, ya courtship. And this one is a longer period. It can take 2 years. You know, between 12 months and 2 years. So this is a period in which not only you are you going to be looking at the behavior of that boyfriend of yours or that girlfriend of yours. Sometimes even family members, they are also interested. They are part of your courtship. They want to see whether you are the best person. So that's the difference between a courtship and dating. And what was the other question?
All right. So thank you so much, Evangelist, for that evaluation. So the other question was on ngati one maybe kuita koche enhance question yakaena ngati tafika pangani manje ya courtship. Since per dating mnakamba last week per dating you said that you can only date for 2 months, then mfunga mwaziwa palija 2 months njo asa kukwatira usaza kukwatira. Manje pali courtship ni period bwanji yefunga nkala kupeuza zira njaa mboiza zani kwatira oa uyu mzimayi ningamukwatire okapena tumisango twake nkabo tuziba.
Yeah. Now courtship period depends munga mwemene munkalira. If you are in the same township, mwenda ku church imozi or mwili pa school imozi, pa university imozi, your courtship period will be shorter. The period will be shorter because you see each other on daily basis, and so your evaluation is done nearly every day. You are able to evaluate that boyfriend of yours. You are able to evaluate that girlfriend of yours. Ngati munkala pamozi in the same township, the courtship period will be shorter. Sometimes it will be 6 months, it will be 8 months, or 9 months. So, or 1 year. Then apa mwamuzi wa bwino bwino. Manje ngati uyu ankala kuti, for example, unkala kumakeni, uyena ankala ku Charleston. So apa palika distance, so you will not be able to be meeting each other on daily basis or so often. So sometimes this is what would cause ka courtship kanu kutikaende ku katalimbe, because you do not meet each other for you to be able to evaluate how she's living, how he's living. So it will take a bit of time. Manje courtship ya ma distance wina ankala kulwansha iwe unkala ku Livingstone. So this one will be even longer. Near many about 4 years, near about 5 years. Wina mtu aliku Livingstone, aliku Zambia. Wina aliku America, aliku China. Wina aliku UK. So this one can take up to 5 years, because it will not all be all the time that you are meeting. It will be once in a while, maybe once every 2 years. Ubea ku Zambia. So that's the period that you are going to see that person and begin to evaluate that person. So it depends location of your stay. Location of your stay will determine how short your courtship will be or how long your courtship will be.
So, Evangelist, you mentioned that location will determine how long or short the courtship will be. I just want to bring in, if you can explain the cultural aspect or the norms that that is locally in Zambia. Kumankala venango ma traditions wakambati when you are courting boyfriend safunka afika pa nyumba ya mkazi. What kind of mannerisms or behavior is supposed to be portrayed during the time that went to courtship in terms of relating to my relatives of the partner?
Sorry, you were cutting. I didn't get you. You are saying, repeat your question, sir.
So my question is, how should one handle themselves in terms of interaction with the relatives of the person that they are courting? When angwamalesa tisufunika kufika pa nyumba. So what are the do's and don'ts during the time of courting?
Well, you see, this courtship we are talking about Yachizungu. Yachifirika, it has got certain rules that we follow, depending na culture ya musikana kwa meli ufuna ukwatilira, or depending with the culture ya munyamata kwa meli ufuna ukwatilira. So some cultures you cannot go kunyumba ya bapongozi. You may end up kunyumba ya banasenge. That is the aunt. That is where you go. Vena uzaenda kuli bambuye bake bamuna olo bakazi. So that is where you meet the lady from. Sometimes you go to the sister or the brother's home, umulamu wako. That's where you are going to meet that person. So it depends on the character. I mean, on the tradition or the culture where that lady is coming from or where that gentleman is coming from. So Zambia muno, it is the culture. Ena ma culture, when you are courting, sunga yende kufika kunyumba kwao kuja. Because culture yao ikana. Vena bakambati, we want you kufika kunyumba wasa tuwima kuchite kuroti. Wena kufika kunyumba. But ngati wakamba uzafika kunyumba, wena kuziba kunyumba kuti kwa ndani. Izitu kuli batate wake na wamai wake, o kuli bambuye wake, o kuli ba aunti wake, o kuli ba mulamu wake, o kuli ma neighbors chabe. So all this you have to find out by asking either the friends to batate wake or makolo wake or bachi blue. They should be able to guide you. Thank you.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
Okay.
Lance?
Thank you, CJ. Thank you, CJ. Evangelist, because CJ has asked that question. Remember, I said that this is my topic of interest because let me put through a practical example, and I will not shy away from it. This is what I'm going through as a man trying to marry this woman. Is it normal or is it possible for the fact that okay ninafika o mwamuna anafika then mwalipirako na yeye munga lipireko palize bana kuchajingani? Is it normal after walipirako then manje for you paliponse pe you know, like each and every time the father of the lady would want to talk to you at awe sunga kambe naine veve ndio afuno kamba naiwe vazatuma phone but wazapunda tisunga kambe naine antio mpaka uponyeko ili yonse. This is tilisepa courtship. Unalipirako. Is this normal, Evangelist? How does one do?
Sorry, evangelist. Sorry, evangelist, to jump in. He's jumping the topic. Tikaribia kufika yo nkani yopereka vopereka. Iwera nzombo chitikabwanji. Yeah.
Courtship nichiona pele.
Iyo ni stage inangu hiyo. Yeah. Okay, evangelist, over to you.
No, if you say so, then if you say so, we can skip this question. I have another question anyway. If you say so, we can skip this question. I can go to another question which is away from what I mentioned. PJ, I think you guided.
But make sure you make sure you raise it. You raise it kafika stage up.
Okay, no. So the other. Okay, thank you, CJ. And so, evangelist, the other question that I have for you, munga pari yamene nkania courtship. When we say that a lady and a man bafika pankania courtship yakutanga okay wachita propose a formula kuti okay chisaka kwatirana onza kukwatira here and there. What are the expectations? Like, what is supposed to be the discussion now between the man and the woman? Since mwamvera na manje mwafika pali jariva kutenja okay, I love you too, I'd love to marry you, I'd love to get married to you. Then what is next?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Lance. That's a very, very good question. That is why, sometimes we miss opportunities. Now, what we're trying to say is that how
CJ, am I the only one who is not hearing Evangelist Shaabula? CJ?
Yes, Emmanuel. Sorry, Lance.
I know. Am I the only one who is not hearing Evangelist Shaabula?
No, you are not. I'm also not able to get evangelist.
All right, so maybe our dear listeners and viewers, as we are trying to bring back Evangelist Shaabula, we've been joined into the studio by Mukelebai. Mukelebai, good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel.
Good evening. How are you, Lance?
I'm good, thank you. Happy New Year. I've seen you for the first time in 2023.
Yes, thank you. I've been grounded. I've been sick for almost the whole week. It's virus. It's not corona, but I'm okay. Thank you. Good to see you. How is CJ doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Good to see you. Good to have you on the program tonight.
Thank you.
All right, Evangelist, do we have you back? Well, I'm still unable to get the Evangelist. We thank the Lord that you've recovered from the illness that you had, and we really appreciate that today you are part of the program, as we always appreciate your wisdom and everything that you bring through to the program. This evening, we are discussing marriage formula, and this is episode 2, which is courting. Last week we were discussing dating. Today, level ya courting. Maybe you have an input on how courting is supposed to go about, especially the fact that You are a Zambian, you are African. Let's look at it in an African way. Please go through if you have an input.
Thank you. Most of our culture, Zambia, as Zambians, we have culture. We have our own tradition. We have our own customary laws that we follow. And during courtship, we have this, I think it's almost in all the tribes, where you are not supposed to expose yourself or introduce yourself to your prospective in-laws. You take it easy because you are trying to get to know each other with your significant other. So it is important in a customary setup that as you are courting, yes, you can give a wind, just whisper to certain individuals in your family, the kind of a girl or the kind of a man, the type of a guy you are courting. So it is important that information, your relatives, they know who you are dating. And as you are courting or dating, yes, and when you see that there is potential, this gentleman is for the keep or this woman is for the keep, that is when you can feel it yourself that you need to introduce this person to your family at a certain stage. Then you can go ahead and introduce the girlfriend or your man friend to your families, so that at least the family, they know, because these days things are a little bit difficult. Family need to know what their family members are doing, because you never know. The world today is full of drama, so people need to know. And if you are dating an ex-con and somebody that might end up killing you, family members ought to know that the person that you have invited in your life. Few members, yes. And when you see it is getting serious, that's when you can introduce that person to your family. But there's no specific, it's not a mandate that you must. No. And you cannot compel your man friend or girlfriend to be introduced to their families. No. Let them do it at their own time, at their own pace. That's my take. Are you there, Lance? You both seem to have gone off air, and I've been left by myself. Could you kindly bring Reverend Shaabula? I think he has explained most of the things that are required to be done in a customary setup or in our Miambo setup. And as for this inherited or the lifestyle that we've inherited from the Western world, where when you are a boyfriend, girlfriend, you're cohabiting, then you introduce yourself, you take it just as literal and introduce your girlfriend to your families or your boyfriend to your families, the person you're courting, and you take it so casual as by the way thing. Well, that also can be done, but we should not negate the fact that we are Africans and we need to also uphold our our roots, our ties to tradition and custom. So that's what I can say for now. Lance, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mukerebai. Our dear viewers, remember that we have shared with you the studio link. Would love you to come through into the studio as we are discussing marriage formula. And today we are looking at episode 2 of marriage formula. And last week we started with dating, which was episode 1. Today it's episode 2, where we're looking at courtship. So our guest this evening is Evangelist Shaabula, who already has stressed the difference between dating and courtship. And also would love you, our dear listeners, our dear viewers, to come through into the studio. Let's get to share with one another. Remember that Nsaka is tailor-made for you, our dear viewers, to join us into the studio. Let's get to share our different experiences. Hii programu hii si programu che yaife amene tili mu studio iyayi, ni programu yaife tonse amene vakutanjire tinapitamo mu mavuto yosinasiyana pankhani ya chikondi, pankhani ya chikwati na pankhani ya vonse pamene timapitamo pa matters of the heart. So tikupemphani njere tijoineni mu studio kapena nkhalani nafe mu studio kukonkereza pali iyo linki yamene tasharinga na imwe vochita tili kamponi chabe pa link apo mkatinikapo yashani kamera yashani na microphone so that tinkhale nanu muno mu studio. Evangelist, welcome back.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you so much.
All right, we are glad to have you back. I don't know if we can go back to pay Tensita Pereira when pay internet chesta masalamu siyake yakutanje yakuponyani out of the studio okapena tinga bwere pali vanyu vamene vabwerako hapa.
Okay, I think we can advance. We can go forward because we are talking about expectations. What are you supposed to discuss, which have already given out? So we can go forward.
But anyway, not only for my sake, but also for the sake of Mamenemati Joina Chepe Papesi Mwenzepo. Maybe let's go through again my prospects or my expectations. Lero mwangena mu courtship mwachita na engage, mwamuna chita engage, mukazi ata engage, mwamuna kyawe niwe nifuna tikwatirani. Vamene tifunu koyambo okamba manje paja peya vumira ring opeyo wa vumira ring.
Yeah, okay. The main difference which I discuss when you are in courtship, the expectations. One, you are going to talk about your marriage itself. When you want to get married, two, how you want your marriage how your wedding to be, if there will be wedding or tradition. Both of you must agree. That tradition, who is going to organize this? Who will do A, B, C, D? You do that. Then muzakamba, what muzakara kuti mkakwatirana. What muzakara munyumba ya watati bako, or muzakura plot, or mwina nyumba ya rent. This you need to discuss. Then you need to talk about bana, muzafura mkabale bana wangati, 10, 13, or 2, or more, or kulibe bana. Or muzakamba no, if tikakwatira chape, we must go to school, so there will not be children. For the next 2 years or 3 years, no children, because we want to release them at school. Then from there, we can begin to have children. This is the time, another expression, this is the time when you disclose to each other. You become open. You open to each other. You need to disclose your healthy status. Kodi mwewanu ulibanji. Kodi mudwala matenda, o ni matenda bwanje mudwala. Ni BP, ni sugar, ni kunyu, ni HIV, ni matenda ya bwanje. Let your friend know so that they can decide either to come out of that arrangement or to go for it because they know how they will handle it. The other issue, you talk about your financial position. Your financial position, you talk about kuchito, unatenga loan. So kuchito kuja, they deduct drama. Sometimes you're in a loan, which you are paying, or you have not paid over a period of time. So your colleague needs to know. Because if they want to know, sometimes when the wedding is on, even when you hoku jamuvi na muchiliza, kachi ba mabenefits baenda kunyumba kwenda kutenga mipando na vichani na mabeti na dina dina. Because you didn't do the right thing. And at the same time, when you disclose, sometimes muzako in a drama to help you clear your date. So you open to each other. Then from there, you also talk about your family. For many choka in kuja, I've got brothers and sisters who are lame, and these people they depend on me. School, so the other issue, sometimes you are going to talk about certain dependency who depend on you. Nina ma dependency, but sister wangu wanamwalira, but brother wangu wanamwalira. Manje kulibana wewe nasara, bana bandika mimi niwapunzisa, banka na ine. So meaning that we can pamoja na iwe, bana bazaka tujoina. They will be our first children before we can have our biological children. So the person who must make a decision. Accordingly, can I get into this? Should I get into this marriage and have bana already? Do I have the money to help to send them to school? So these are some of the issues and many more that you need to disclose. What you should not disclose, I'm warning ladies. Don't disclose that. I want to be very clear. Who is a mamu at no in 9 and abortion early 7. My miscarriage early 13. The gentleman as I can't do what like. So he will not take you.
But your data is important to it.
Very important, CJ. Very important.
The question is
important data evangelist.
Don't open to somebody where you're going to do extermination. That's fire away, you don't do that. And the other issue is that at one time you were imprisoned. Let your friend know that at one time, whatever it is, but I went to prison. I was there for 2 years. I served my sentence. Then Mukazi, this one is an ex-convict. You know, it will be very sad. So it is important to disclose. It is important to open to each other. These are expectations during courtship. Thank you so much.
CJ, please allow me to ask one last question before my battery dies. Let me just get to do a follow-up. My battery is now on 10%, and load shedding no win. So, Evangelist, when is the right time for either a man or a woman to tell the prospect husband or wife kutinjawe ine niliko na mwana okapena nina bana babiri okaviri bwanji I time ya courtship is it the right time kumunzira twenjawe ine niko na bakumbali bana ona ine nibwerako na bana muchikwati?
It is the time of courtship, because after courtship then you are going to engage her. So before you engage her, let her know, because engagement means Tavomera, now we are getting into we are preparing to get married. So for her to to be engaged, before she can be engaged, she must have full information about you and your life. So it is during courtship and not during the time of engagement, during courtship.
Okay, thank you very much, Evangelist. So our viewers, the link has been shared. Please feel free to click on it and then join us in the studio. I can see Messi is trying to join the studio. Messi, what I need you to do is to log out and then try joining again. But the time that you are joining in, make sure you allow mic and video. If you don't allow mic and the video, won't be able to add you to the studio. So please make sure you give permission for the mic as well as the camera. Okay, so Evangelist, I'm going to raise an issue that is, I would say, it has kind of become a norm with the current generation: sex during courtship. Sex during courtship. What is your position when it comes to sex during courtship? These days, it seems to be a normal thing where there's even cohabiting and all those things. So kindly give us guidance in that regard.
I'll put it this way. Because I'm aware that I'm also talking to Christians and I'm also talking to non-Christians, and this includes people of different faiths or denominations. And I want to first of all dwell on the Bible. You know, dwelling on the Bible, you are not supposed to have sex before marriage. When you are courting, you are not married. You are merely planning. You are merely desiring that you should get married. These are plans in the pipeline. Because when you begin sleeping with that lady or that gentleman, I know of so many women who have been disappointed by men that they slept with. You know, it is like a man that wants to buy tomatoes, or a lady wants to buy tomatoes. When you give her the tomatoes and she begin tasting, ambakuja matomato aja, ashetako asiya aika paja. The next person who is going to come will not buy the chewed a tomato or banana, because it has got saliva, it has been wasted. So even certain men, they will not be able to marry you. So the best thing is try by all means not to have carnal knowledge or to have sex with a person that wants to marry you. Some people, they say, no, I want to test it and find out whether umuntu anzuna or alibwanji or is really a man or not. No, human beings.
Test driving, friendly.
Which called Yapia or Sanapia. You get that person the way they are. Now, traditionally, it was a requirement. When you meet, you should be able to sleep with that person so that you know the suitability of that person, whether that person can perform or can have children with that person or not. That is tradition. And it depends from which tradition you come from. In short, I'm discouraging sex during courtship. Thank you so much. But the choice is yours. The choice is yours. Nobody will stop you, but the choice is entirely in your hands.
Great. Thank you very much, Evangelist. Atutuma friendly before marriage so that walaba waziba kutali bwanje mzako. Okay, so the next question that I have deals with finances when you are courting. How should you handle finances when you are courting?
when you are courting, finances are entirely yours. During courtship, there's no way you can put your money together. You are not a husband and wife. You still have your personal responsibilities. You still have your personal assignments that you need to look into or handle. So the other person does not come in. However, whenever there's need for you to help your colleague, during courtship, you can still help them. You can give them money to help themselves, or you can do some work for them. That you will perform you can do that. So, in other words, you can be helpful also during the time of courtship. And then prove to them that you are a proper gentleman. But when it comes to finances, you cannot put your monies together with your boyfriend or your girlfriend because you're not married. It is a risk. Suppose I change a zero, because since he's not married to you or you're not married, he can change his mind. And if the money was put together, my account was, the other person will go with the money. Then it means you lose your money. So keep your money, keep your finances to yourself until you get married. Thank you.
Thank you, Evangelist. And an extension to that question would be, we've seen situations whereby the boyfriend and girlfriend get into a business arrangement. Sometimes maybe when they even go to the extent of buying property, okay, together. What is your advice for people in such an arrangement where they decide to...
Risky.
Yes.
It is a risky business, very risky, because somebody can change mind at any time. Somebody can change mind at any time. Two, somebody can die at any time. Somebody can die at any time. And then that money will go to the surviving spouse or the gentleman or the lady that is there. So it is not in order. Not at all.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Maybe you can chip in there.
On the business aspect, the money sharing, well, it's up to the couple. You know, it depends on the relationship you have among each other. I think most of the things Shaabula has already alluded to are correct. It's quite risky, but even entering into marriage itself, it's risky. We don't know, but you know, sometimes. So
very, very true, my brother.
Yes.
Even
So that's what. Yes. So we do take risks in every undertaking, and the only thing that will save us is to be clever as you enter into those into those undertakings, like where money is concerned, where you have to buy properties as a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, not that you are married, legally married. This is where you have to prepare some documentation. There is a provision. There are provision there for couples always, especially couples that are very serious, that wants to upgrade their lives, and they have the capacity, they have the finances. It is imperative that they approach either a lawyer that will draft some documents for them to tabulate whatever agreement they are going to say. So in an event of a death, or in an event of the separation or divorce, that document will take precedent and will be used to claim whatever, and they will be helped. You know, so that way, that's why we always have this prenuptial agreement. especially if one partner has a little bit more money than the other, and you don't want the other person to take advantage of the other person, so you make them sign a prenuptial agreement that whatever money you bring in, in as a couple, and that's the money that you are going to either share when this relationship is either not working, or by virtue of you being a couple, the monies that you're going to and the money or wealth that you're going to gain whilst living together as a couple, and that is what will constitute your wealth, and that is where you're supposed to share either equitably or whatever agreement that you may have, and you cannot touch on the monies and the properties or the wealth that you have before you entered into a relationship. So on that aspect, your money is safe. The money, if you inherited money from your relatives, your parents, and you find this gentleman who wants to be your boyfriend, and he cannot use that money that you have inherited from as part of his, because that one you come with it independently. That is your own property or your money. So just be smart.
Much from Kedawai. Yes, please. Okay, thank you. I can see there's John Mkandawire watching. Please, there's a link that we've shared. Click on it, join the studio. Let us have this conversation. Add your voice to it. Whether you have a question, you have a contribution, please, you're free to join the studio. At this point,
yes, just a minute. I think on that aspect, you need to share a tutorial video or something on how people should enter into the studio, because I've noticed that many people find it difficult, and most of them, they don't know which buttons to play.
Okay, we'll work with IT and share a video that people can easily follow, so that they're able to join the studio. The next question that I have deals with conflict during the time of courtship. How should you handle conflict, and what kind of conflict is, let me say, can warrant the separation, the ending of the courtship? Evangelist.
What would warrant, end of a relationship? Number one is being an unfaithfulness in terms of you are this lady, and then you start going out with another lady, or you start going out with another boyfriend. So someone discovers that you've got another partner. That is a sign of, it's a red flag that this one is not, this one will be a danger to the marriage. Number two, a person that disrespects you. A person that disrespects you, whether you are a lady or a gentleman. The third part, the person that beats you, slapping you, akumenya karibe na ukwatira, karibe na ungera munyumba mwake, ayamba ukumenya mbama, quickly he apologizes. No, please, sorry, forgive me. But in the meantime, akumenya kudara. That is a weakness. Na apology ajani ukuruku chabe, afuna chabe uchite mutima wako jekwanji, unkazi kike, but the gentleman is an abuser. So you should quickly, either the gentleman or the lady, you should quickly come out of that relationship. The other point, somebody wamene alibe ulemu wapongozi wako, batati bako, ulamai wako, or family wako, such a person should not be allowed, because he has no respect. He should not be allowed. So the other one is even religion. If it becomes impossible that you can't work together, I would actually ask you to separate so that there is peace, because religion can be a source of conflict in your marriage, and serious conflict. So then the other issue is your friend Wayambakuba, you are a thief. Which the business but together pamozi Wayambakubisa drama zina. You are a thief. You are a thief. So you should not be allowed, to go to the altar and get married because you are a thief. Thieves, you should go to prison or they should be damned. Thank you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Evangelist, you can get you.
Hello?
Evangelist, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
All right. I don't know. I think my internet is also misbehaving. Evangelist, you can go ahead, or maybe you've concluded.
I've concluded.
Okay.
Unless
so
if
we're now in the
No, actually, just to add on what Shaabula has put, I know you're having difficulties with your internet, just to keep the motion moving, unless you want to bring other questions.
Go ahead, Bumkerebai.
Yes. You're talking about what causes the relationships to break up, to the people that are courting to go separate ways. There's so many ways, I think Shaabula has told us most of the main contributing factors is the infidelity aspect. Of course, the moment you realize that your person is not being faithful to you, definitely you don't want to incubate such a problem and hope that is going to change or she's going to change in the near future. No. Ababemba balanda okutera tuwa kalema takaleka. All the habits die hard. So the sooner you realize this, the earlier the better you move out of that kind of relationship. There are so many flags and indicators red flags that can compel you not to continue with that relationship. And remember, fuire mwaishi pokutila ati inkobekela te chupo. When you are kovekela, that doesn't mean you are married, and anything can happen, and you can simply walk away without having a battle, like going to court, starting to share properties, talk about children and stuff, because you are still in the courtship in the earlier stage. It's just a matter of walk away, and that's it. Unless somebody has come back to you and convince you that I have changed. But otherwise, there are so many red flags that you can tell. The beating aspect, yes, as Shaabula has put it, you cannot claim to love someone that you are inflicting pain on. That's just baloney. That's just crazy. I love you. I beat you because I love you. No, you can't tell somebody. You can't tell somebody, but that's the myth. That's what we had in Zambia. That most of the cultures they say, you behave like Jesus. What Jesus said, that you turn around and give that person to beat you on the other side. No, in love, if you you cannot inflict pain. The person you love, you simply want them to feel free and to enjoy your company, not to instill fear and inflict pain? No. So those are red flags.
Wow.
Don't even waste your time. That's my take.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kilewai. Time is not on our side. We need to conclude and wrap up the show. So I'm going to request that you just give us your closing remarks within a minute. Please go ahead, Kilewai.
Okay, thank you. Relationships, they are not easy to come by. As we can tell that the population in Zambia today, we are almost of 20 million. And we hear that women are many. They are by a million to men. So this is where we need to be very conscious and careful on who we date and how to go into relationships. We can tell when somebody means well, and when your time has come, you want to have a family, you need to make a nest. It is time for you to find your mate. You just need to investigate. Take your time and investigate. Don't just put up to anyone that comes to you for as long as he wears the trousers or wears the skirt. Try to investigate and find out that person and then move on. If that person meets your requirement, please go ahead and put the ring on that finger before somebody snatches them away from you.
Thank you.
Just be kind to each other.
Thank you very much, Kilewai.
Palumba.
Thank you very much, Kilewai. Sorry for interrupting you there. Evangelist?
In closing, I just want to say that courtship is a period during which a couple develop a romantic relationship before getting married. This is a time you sit together, discuss issues that concern your marriage. You get to know each other, your personality, your temperaments, your character. You disclose to each other sicknesses, your healthy situation status, your financial status. You also talk about the challenges that you have and also the responsibilities that you do. And this is the time in which you weigh each other. Can I live with this person? Can I do what? How does she or he handle anger management? Is he industrious? Is he able to work with me? Sometimes I'm a businessman. Does she understand business? Or is she teachable? Or she's not? So all these are things that you need to learn. And during this time of courtship, it is a time when you need to be serious with what you are doing. Because this is where you can win a good marriage or lose a marriage just because you didn't make the right choice, you didn't discuss it fully and concluded well. So the issue here is that when you do this also, you pray, let God guide you, let God show you that this is the right person. As you do this also, you should find out also from neighbors, from other people, they should help you look for these, virtues, attributes. Because on your own, you remember you are in love. When you are in love, sometimes you will not be able to see certain, red flags. The reason is that you will not look at the red flags, you'll be looking at the beauty of that lady. So the beauty of the lady or the beauty of that, the handsomeness of that gentleman will cause you not to see his weaknesses. So let others also help you observe that individual. God help us. Thank you so much for the time. God bless us. Till we meet again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Thank you very much, our viewers. Indeed, it has been a wonderful time that we had. They say better a broken relationship than a broken marriage. We are looking at the marriage formula, and today has been episode 2 where we are looking at courtship. Make sure you are glued to this program because this is a series of stages that are involved in in order for one to get into marriage. Make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Viewers, thank you for the comments and the contributions that you made. Those that managed to get through to the studio, we appreciate your participation. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Himba. Thank you, Bom Kelevai and Evangelist. From me, CJ, and our IT and our today's manager, that is Emmanuel Nkunika, we say thank you and have a lovely night. Goodbye.